go to the repository. Okay. Can you see my screen? Anyone can acknowledge it?
Yes, yes. Yes, it is
Okay,
visible.
thank you so much. So as you can see on this page, we are currently working on the Python from scratch. Slowly we will be moving towards the other projects, realistic project. So I had already uploaded all the data set in CSV, in Excel sheet or image. You don't need to search anywhere else कि वो project का data कहाँ पर है. That's integrity without roaming here and there. We are finding at a single channel. So what we have covered yesterday: introduction to Python and something difference in data types and different all part. Though I'm going to revise one more time, right? So that would be the uh, case study of today's session. So I had already opened my Anaconda prompt. Let others be joined. They will be joining in between. I think we should start meanwhile. Any doubt from the previous session, day one? If we have, then I'll go with the query first, then I'll.
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay, sure. Please, go
Sir,
ahead.
can you explain user-defined functions again?
Yes, sure. I'm extremely
Yes.
sorry. I was too fast yesterday.
And sir, one more request is, can you use VS Code?
Visual Studio Code?
Yep.
No, I don't have that.
Okay, sir.
All right. So in my company, they use R language, SQL, and means Power BI, Tableau. तो मेरी company में मतलब allow मतलब not it's not kind of allow. I'm not have it habitual of this use.
Okay, sir. Okay.
If you want to use visual code, then that's fine. You want me to use that visual code, or you are asking that can you use?
No. As I know, so many companies use Visual Code as their platform, coding platform. So, like, we will get hands-on practice on Visual Code.
Yes, that's true. That's 100% true. You are extremely correct. They all are using, but at an initial stage, you don't go for detailed or the minute iota things inside the platform. You just get the code. What's the meaning of these specific areas where we are anticipating challenges, where we are having QA sessions like key cross user defined function. That should be the question, specific question. Focus on the problem statement, and today I'll cover some problem statement also. कि ये problem statement है, and this is not necessary कि you are working Jupyter, but rather you will have to focus on technical terms. So what do I mean by technical terms? At least अगर वो इंटरव्यू में पूछेंगे, then you will be able to speak one or two lines. Okay, so what do I mean by? Let's take an example. They are asking difference between structured and unstructured data. I hope anyone can give the idea.
या स्ट्रक्चर डेटा मतलब पूरा एक स्ट्रक्चर में लिखा होता है. एज आई नो विद द प्रॉपर सिंटैक्स एंड ऑल. अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड में वैसे नहीं होता है. अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड मतलब मेस्ड अप.
Can you give example of both of these?
स्ट्रक्चर्ड में अगर देखा जाए तो if a is greater than 20 then true. लाइक ऐसा अगर अपन एग्जांपल ले तो अनस्ट्रक्चर में भी ऐसा लिख सकते हैं. सिंटैक्स एरर में भी अनस्ट्रक्चर में आ सकता है. आई एम नॉट श्योर. इफ के जगह अपन ज्यादा स्पेस दे दें या फिर बहुत सारे एरर्स इसमें आ जाए.
You are talking about code. So, but I'm talking about this data. Specific data कैसे हम लेते हैं. Okay, no worries. We will come around. I am just giving. Let me explain first. Structured data set which is having tabular format, rows and column, like your report card. All right. So we have solutions come up with the certain rows and certain column. That's fixed. But unstructured means social media, hashtags, video content uploaded on YouTube, comments given in LinkedIn, any other tags which is giving in like Instagram, right? ये सारा जो डेटा कलेक्टिव डेटा इफ यू स्टोर इन सम मिडलवेयर दैट इज कॉल्ड अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा and unfortunately we are in the era of unstructured data set, right? Companies are working on unstructured data set, and what's the responsibility of each data engineer and data scientist to convert this unstructured data set to structured data set, all right? तो पाइथन की जो कोडिंग है, पाइथन का जो हैंड्स ऑन प्रैक्टिस है, you must have that idea how to convert unstructured data set to the structured data set. This is the challenges we are facing day by day inside IT company. All right, just keep focus on the compatibility issues, right? So any other, so आपको अगर कंपनी पूछता है टेक्निकल टर्म्स, यू एटलीस्ट एक्सप्लेन इन 1 or 2 lines. You are not blindly एकदम सर आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज द स्ट्रक्चर, व्हाट इज अनस्ट्रक्चर, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. इफ दे आर आस्किंग क्लाउड, ऑब्वियसली यू आर नॉट क्लाउड आर्किटेक्ट, बट एटलीस्ट आपको पता होना चाहिए कि व्हाट इज द AWS क्लाउड, what is the Azure cloud, what is the GCP cloud. At least give 2-3 lines as a fresher. They are expecting this new system and existing legacy between your knowledge and their questions. This is the technical terms. Okay, so similarly we have more technical terms. Just focus on these technical terms, the anticipating challenges, right? Okay, so in the previous session we were discussing, come back to the coding part. We have for in range. Okay, I was talking about, before this explaining this code, I was talking about repository. Here we have GitHub code. I had already uploaded all my sessions there. Session 1, if you scroll down, we have session 2, session 3, session 4, 5, 6, and data set also here. And we have 10, 11, 12 other questions are 100 plus Python challenges are also here. If you go back to the master data set, machine learning, we have basic image processing, web API. We will be discussing machine learning perceptron, a project on cat and dog data set, recurrent female and male eyes. These projects are, we will be discussing upon, right? If you go for the other, like we have Python for beginners, your low image segment, which is the part of computer vision, and इन कोड्स के प्रोजेक्ट्स के ऊपर फोकस करिए, एंड दिस इज माय सजेशन, यू विल बी क्रैकिंग योर फर्स्ट इंटरव्यू 100% श्योर. ऑलराइट.
How many projects, sir?
Initially we have designed more than 25 projects, so gradually we are updating. Every Saturday we will discussing projects and their solutions. Not tomorrow, but from next Saturday onwards, we will be starting this project, because this week we do not have any classes, but next Saturday onwards we will have that questions or concern. If anyone has question, then we will come up. All right. So we had, or I had shared the link in the class. You can see here, session wise hands-on practice. Okay, let me close this part. Let me close my repository also, and going for the for loop for I in range I10. So we have range and iteration, right? Suppose you need to print machine learning. So I'm asking to print this machine learning. It's a printing, right? But what will happen if I'm asking the same object multiple times? So what I'll do, I'll write suppose I want to write print machine learning 10 times. So what I'll do, I'll print 10 times the same thing, 6 times, 9 times? No, that's wrong practice. For this, we have for I in range. Obviously, my number of codes will be increased, so I'll have more memory in that case. So I'll give only 3 part, right? But can you see the difference between at the top, at the initial point? Here we have no space, here we have space. In Python, we call this space as an indentation, right? Indentation. And I'm going to comment it. How would you comment it? Cut slash control plus slash. When you will press control plus slash, it will become uncomment. When I press cut plus slash, it will become comment anyhow. Now, when I will hit post this colon, I'll get that indentation automatically, right? This is the domain of my for loop, right? Can you see, suppose I'm writing data learning here, and then I'm learning science learning here, right? At the third and fourth line respectively. Now I'm going to run this code. Can you see this machine learning is printed 10 times, but data learning and science learning is being printed only 2 times. So thoroughly we are testing the indentation in our code, which means I had not given the space here. Let me remove these 2 lines. All right. We had only this piece of code, which is giving 12 lines as the printout. We have a space which is called indentation. I'm going to give the same space here and same space here. How many outputs will we have? We have 30 outputs. Each print statement is being printed 3 times. So iteration is 10, and each iteration we have these 3 statements. This is the biggest mistake by the programmer when we are not taking care of these spaces. As I yesterday said, एक space भी extra Python accept नहीं करेगा. And our goal is to have the final code with proper indentation and dot itself, right? Now, I want to use this range in either format. Let's say 2 comma 10, right? And I'm going to print this I also, because I is the counter here, right? So can you give this I is starting from 2 but ending with 9, all right? So let me remove last 2 lines. So I'm having I is equal to 2 but ending with 9. Where is the 10? Which means range second integer always exclude one integer, right? So what does it mean? It will reach till n minus 1, right? So we have this timeline where we are decreasing one value. If you want to reach the upper counter till 10, so you will have to give 11 here, right? So I'm going to run this code again. Now you will find 10 here, 2 to 10 at the last line. This was the for loop. In the same page, we had discussed while loop. So what's the structure of while loop? Here we have initial value of I is equal to 0, which is the initial value. And then I am having while the code condition 20 colon and hit. Again, you can see my indentation is automatically defined here. And then I'm going to give hello ML engineers. We are giving these loop, right? And finally, I'll have to increment this value. Otherwise, my code will get into the infinite loop. So in order to avoid that condition, infinite loop, I'm going to print this 20 times, right? If you want to check the numbers, don't count these numbers. Any ever do not count these numbers. Always have practice to include these counter inside the print command. We have this print. Can you see? Now we have 0 to 19 again. The concept is again we are not including this 20, which means we have only 19 as the last value. All right, this was the revision of previous session. Now we have user defined function, and this is starting with def. So most of the keywords are, let me go this one. Most of the keywords are reserved in the Python, out of which def is one of them. So we are going to elaborate a bit more on how it will work. We have def. Let's say I'm having room. Inside this room, I'm having print 4 bedrooms. All right, and then I'm going to print 1 kitchen. Right, so I'm going to print this one, and let me call this function. Can you see now it's going to print, right? So the beauty of function is you can call this number as many as time, right? So suppose you want to call this number 10 times. So what I'll do, I'll write for I in range. Inside this range, I'll write 10. I'll hit enter, and hit enter, and let me write this one. Can you see? By combination of for loop and user defined function, I'm writing only 3 or 5 lines of code, right? So this is the I'd like to share the current status of my for loop with the combination of user defined function, where we have first definition of the function. Now I'm calling the function. So I'm going to add this function with the for loop, but still you can call this function without the for loop also. Let me select these two lines, cut slash. Now I'm having only room. So you can see only one time this is being called. But if you want to call the same function multiple times, let's say 20 times, so I'll give range with 20, and now you have 20 options, right? So this is the property and basic property for my function, right? So mainly related to compatibility with certain values. Now, suppose I'm having uh, any other function like, okay, so let me go to the comment. Do we have any? Okay, so we do not have any comment. Okay, any other question do we have? So then we will go to the user defined function. Let's say I'm having ron, and within the ron I'm having 5, 7, right? And let's say I'm having, oh sorry, x comma y, right? I'm going to return x plus y. So I'm going to have this one, and ron with the 4, 8. I'm having 12 here, which is the addition of these two. So addition of x plus y is returning at the print. You can see 4 plus 8 is here. That is the addition part of it, right? This is returning entire value. This is the integer part, right? Now I need some question. Suppose I'm going to print the following pattern using nested loops, right? So what is the pattern? 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4 times 4, and then 5 times 5, right? So I'm going to draw this pattern, right? So what I'll do, solution I have come up. Initially, I'll initialize our number n is equal to 5. I'll write for I in range, which is the skeleton for my for value, I comma, sorry, 1 comma n plus 1. Why n plus 1? Because we need maximum value 5. So I had already stated that the second value will be excluded. So I need maximum value 5. So I'll have to add one more integer here. So I'm going to give colon here, and for the nested live, I'm going to give another for loop. Inside this for loop, I'm going to run another for condition where we have I, and inside this I am having print I comma end of n is equal to, give this value and remove one indentation here, and then I'm going to print it. And you see it's showing output. But just go line by line here, right? What will happen if I'm not adding this one here? Suppose I'm going to remove this one, right? Can you see this one? Now it's showing only 4. Why? Because this n plus 1, or in either terms, the outer for loop is taking care of rows 0, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. The second for loop, inside for loop, I'm taking care of these columns, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And which value I need to print? I need to print I here, right? And what's the meaning of this end? Let me print it. Okay, let me take, do we have, okay. Do we have any question? Sanchitra Patra has raised, yes,
Yes.
Sir,
yes.
Sir, in this print I comma end is equal to is in quotes. So I didn't understand that logic behind that two quotes.
I'm going to explain just now. What's
Okay,
the
okay,
end here? Okay.
okay.
So when we write simply,
sir, I have one question.
yes, please go ahead.
Instead of we are taking for I in 1 comma n plus 1,
Mhm.
we can initialize n as a 6, and
Uh-huh.
for I in range 1 comma n, can we take?
Okay, let's try. Let's try if it is giving the same output, no issues. Can you see? Can do we have? Okay, you want me remove this one?
Yes.
Okay, so we are getting same output, no issues. We can
Okay.
have multiple solutions altogether. And
Okay.
wonderful question. It was really good question.
Okay, sir.
All right. So let's get started with the end is equal to colon. Here we have range is equal to, let's say 3. All right. So I'm going to write print and just writing I, printing I, simple for loop with the range 3, printing I here. All right. So I'm getting started with the 0, ending with 0, 1, 2. All right. When am going to include end is equal to quotes, it's not going to print in a new line but in the same line, right? Okay, so if I'm going to add, instead of this is actually, it's showing space here, but instead of space, if I'm going to add a dollar here, then I'll getting 0 and then dollar 1 and dollar. So what's the concept here? Actually, print is having a concept to print everything from the next line. Like cursor will move to the next line. But if you will add this end operator here, it won't move to the next line. Rather, it will start printing from the same horizontal row, right? What? So here we have, let's say here we have 15 values. So let me come up. Can you see 0, 1 till we have 14 value, and everything we have dollar. Let me give space beyond, before and after this dollar. Can we have space, right? Now I'm going to remove this for loop, but giving more simpler example here, right? Let me give, let's say 5. Let's say, let's see, I'm giving some random value 8, right? Can you see it's giving the statement in the same line, right? Now I'm going to copy the same two statement and hit enter. This time I'm having 56 or 83. Going to run this code. Can you see? Still it's showing the same line of code, which means this end is removing that inbuilt property which says just print this string and go to the next line. Just print this string, go to the next line. Print this string, go to the next line. It's removing that property. But rather, if the same point I'm going to print here and removing all the ends in between, then you will find something different. And what's the use of this code? Can you see 58, 56, 83? This is the ground level reality of the print statement. And we are utilizing this same command. Okay, let me remove this end from the statement. I'm going to run this code. Can you see? 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. Now you will say, sir, your answer is not matching with the required answer. You cannot wrap up with the given solution. So I'm puzzled. But the property is only here. I have not included add at the same line, right? जब मैं इसको end को add किया, the second line. So what will happen? What will the execution of this for line? Okay, come here. The first value of I will be 1, right? The j will be, the I value of 1 will go inside here at the first line. I am having I is equal to, in the first iteration I am having I is equal to 1, all right? So the second for loop will have j is equal to 1. Only one time it will be executed. Is it correct? Yes. It will print I, that is 1 as of now. In the second iteration, the I value will have 2 because now it is incremented from 1 to 2. Now I'm having value, instead of 1, I'm having 2 at the second iteration. It will jump to the next for loop. Now this j is having 2, range 2. If you recall, range 2 is printing 2 times, right? For I in range 2, if I'm printing hello here, it's printing 2 times hello. If I am printing 3 here, it's printing 3 times here. Now go back here. In the third iteration, I'm having I is equal to 3, which is not now 2, just incrementing by 1. So we have 3 here. Now j is having range 3. It will be reading as j is 3, second for loop. So it will be printing 3 times. So I value is 3. So it's printing 3 times without the end operator. So it's showing all the 3 in a same line. Now, okay, what's the role of this print? Why I had included it? Let me remove this print also. I'm just removing. Now, can you see? Okay, let me remove this value also. Can you see output? 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. All the outputs are in same row just because of this and. But I need the next line after accomplishment of this second for loop. So what I'll do, I'll go to the come out this for domain, remove that indentation, and then add this print over here. We'll find the value. Now this I will be in the last I will be 5. So I'm having print 5. J will be printed 5 times, right? Okay. So print the following pattern using asterisk, double asterisk, 3 asterisk, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyone? Any solution? Any solution? I would like to hear from anyone. बहुत फास्ट चल रहा है, राइट डाउन का टाइम भी नहीं मिल रहा है सर. Okay, okay. So I'll okay. Is it anyone? Am I too fast?
Sir, it is same like we did it before, like 1, 2, 3. It is instead of 1, 2, 3, it is stars, right?
So we will initialize y5 and for I in a range, and here we have 1 comma n plus 1, right? And then I'll try to print this symbol which is asterisk for me
Right.
and having and multiply by I, right? So let me print this one. Yes, we have this value.